Oh, hey guys. You caught me at a bad time. I'm actually in the middle of trying to steal second base right now, but the only problem is there's no one else here, except for that weird old man in the outfield eating a hot dog. He makes me uncomfortable.
Back when I was a kid, I was always outside. In between all of like the raging Mario parties that I had with my brother, I'd be out there swimming or giving the lawn a haircut or playing some of those good old sports. Among these, my favorites were definitely basketball, tennis, and a little American classic I like to refer to as the baseball. The baseball was the sport that I played the longest. I started whenever I was 4, and I played all the way until the end of high school, playing on both school teams and citywide leagues, being one of the best boys down south in southern Indiana, United States of America, 2010 AD. I've always loved the sport. I love how mentally intense it can be. I love how accurate and precise that you have to be whenever you're playing, and I love all of the sunflower seeds like damn. Even though I ultimately like tennis and baseball more, whenever I think of my childhood, one of the first things I always think of aside from video games is playing baseball with my buds. So since I grew up with this, I've got quite of experience with a lot of baseball video games. MLB Slugfest, spectacular. Mario Superstar Baseball, a living dream. MLB The Show.
Baby's beautiful. But what's the crowning king of them all, you ask? Well, if you saw the title of the video, you'd probably guess it's Backyard Baseball 2003, baby!
The Backyard sports games were developed by Humongous Entertainment, an American studio that produced various kid-friendly point-and-click games such as Putt Putt, Pajama Sam, and Freddy Fish. All great games that you can currently buy on Steam right now because the company who eventually bought them decided that learning was better than sports? What? Humongous Entertainment had all kinds of sports games for all the kids. Backyard basketball, backyard soccer, backyard hockey, backyard skateboarding? Wait, when did they make backyard skateboarding? That sounds awesome. These all generally started out as their own thing, but then as time went on, they started incorporating pro players into their games by making kid versions of them, and this is especially true for backyard baseball. So move the hell over, Reese Worthington, because the real boys are here to play. Me and my friends especially love this because now, instead of just picking from the made-up characters like Pete Wheeler, who's actually really awesome, I'm sorry, Pete, you could also pick from fan-favorite MLB players like Derek Jeter and Chipper Jones and Mike Piazza, and of course, the man, the myth, the man, every young boy's favorite guy, sorry dad, it's Chief League star, Mr. Ken Griffey, a junior baby.
Now, don't get me wrong, Backyard Baseball 1 and 2001 were both really solid games. I liked them a lot, but in my opinion, 2003 is really just when the cows came home.
Backyard Baseball starts off with this awesome animated intro where you get an overview of all the things you're going to be able to do in this game, except it looks way better than what you're actually going to be doing in this game. Now, once the game has booted up, it takes you to the main hub of everything. The clubhouse. I love this. I always like whenever games have interesting menu screens like this that really set the mood and tone and get your mindset right for what you're about to do. Because nowadays, most sports games just have this bland ass screen where you select things from top to bottom, which is hard to do when you're already asleep from boredom. So our options here are single game, season play, the Hall of Fame, batting practice with a robot. You can look at MLB cards or you can view the intro again if once just wasn't enough for you. So the single game mode sounds just like what it is. It's a single game. You can play against another team, pick which field you play on, what rules you play with, and then you go to the bench to do every kid's favorite confidence crusher. You pick teams. All of the characters have so much personality to them. The standard backyard kids and the MLB pros each, they feel like different characters in their own way. I mean, look at Maria Luna. Look at how she catches the ball. That's freaking adorable. And even their batting stances say a lot about them, because Jocinda over here, she knows what she's doing. She's got this upright, confident stance, whereas old Dante Robinson looks like he's just holding a big sausage on his shoulder, because he don't care. He'd probably eat it. You can actually even create your own custom character if that's your thing. I never really did that, because I didn't want to waste a slot on my big stupid face. Now, one of the things I always loved doing in this game was just clicking on each character to hear what they had to say, because some of them were, pretty interesting.
Hello, my name is Annie Fraser.
Hi, Annie.
I have a 100% biodegradable baseball bat. Do you?
No.
So there's two announcers for the baseballs and backyards. The first one is Sunny Day, a standard run-of-the-mill upbeat announcer who takes the game very seriously. She ain't no joke. But then the other one is the one, the only Vinny the Gooch, my friends. Vinny is always cracking jokes, talking smack, and refusing to tell people his real last name and instead wants people to refer to him as the Gooch. How did that make it into a kid's game?
You know, Sonny, I could sure go for an ice-cold Goochberry soda right about now. Nothing beats the cool, refreshing taste of a Goochberry soda. Goochberry soda, available at fine soda stands throughout the ballpark.
Stop saying gooch! So let's get to the main meat of the game here. Let's get to what everyone cares about, the season play. The season play mode's kind of like the story in this game. It's a little more permanent. You pick a home field, you set your rules for it, and then you pick 9 kids to play in the Backyardigans League, and then you just try to become the best. Now for my team, I always rock with Derek Jeter, Chipper Jones, Barry Bonds, Pablo Sanchez, Sammy Sosa, Pete Wheeler, Jocinda Smith, Ken Griffey Jr., and my personal favorite boy, Ahmed Khan.
I will rock you!
You play about 14 games, and if you do good and you're a winning team, you then go to the World Series in the Super Colossal Dome, and you gotta become the league champs. If you do that, then you get this awesome picture of you in the Hall of Fame, and I gotta say, this is probably one of my proudest moments as a 25-year-old adult male.
Yeah, I paid money and got this framed.
So in terms of controls, it's actually not all that bad. The game is controlled 100% with just the mouse, which sounds like torture. But it's not. It's actually a nice change of pace because, I mean, who likes playing two-handed games? So whenever you're batting, you control this little cursor and you place it over where the ball is going to go, and then you have to click the button to swing your lumber. Before you swing it though, you're going to need to pick which type of hit you want to perform, whether it's a grounder, a live drive, a bunt, and if you're feeling froggy, you can also give them a little slice of that power. Believe it or not, each one of these does have their place in the game. You might think it's a good idea to just go up there and use power for everyone, but if you do that, you're gonna probably suck and never win. After you make contact with the little white balls, you're gonna have to run around the bases. In other baseball games, they let your character run around at a predetermined speed like an idiot, but in this game, you can not only pick the characters that are fast, but you can also make them even faster by giving your hand a stroke. Mashing the mouse button while your character is running is an interesting mechanic that works like sometimes, because each character has what's known as the juice. This affects how well that character will perform certain actions like hitting and pitching and running and fielding. This actually does throw a lot of strategy into the game. You can't always throw these crazy good pitches here. You can't always make your characters run as fast as possible because you gotta hold back a little bit unless you want all Barry Bonds to be dead by the second inning.
Okay, so now that we talked about batting, we gotta talk about the entire other half of baseball, which is the big old D. Fence.
So you got all your players out here in the field and you can move them around however you want to. I don't care. The pitcher is where most of your focus is going to be. So you select a pitch, you got to click where you think it's going to go, and then hope for the best. The juice is where the strategy comes into play. You don't want to be throwing old Carlos here a bunch of them heaters because then you're going to be draining Barry Bonds again. So if the batter gets a hit, then you have to click over the spot where the ball is going to land, or if it's a grounder, you need to pick it up and click which base you want to throw to. I know it's very complicated. However, if you strike out the batter, then you get a little something something for your troubles, aka it's a power-up. The power-ups are different for offense and defense, so we're gonna go through each and every one of these. Okay. Now, like I said like 15 seconds ago, if you strike out the batter, then the pitcher gets a fancy new little pitch right here. This could either be a corkscrew, an elevator pitch, a fireball, the crazy ball, the zigzag, a slow-mo, a jerky old spitball, and my personal favorite, the great big old freeze. All of these are limited in use, and this is where the strategy really comes into play. So if you throw one of these, it's gonna drain your juice up real quick. And you also wanna make sure that if you throw one, the batter don't hit it. Because if they do hit it, then they're gonna get a power up, and that's about as good of a segue as I'm gonna get. So the batting power-ups are really exciting. Now, just like the pitching power-ups, these are also limited, even more so. You might only get to use these like once, maybe twice, so make sure you don't waste it on someone sucky like Reese Worthington. Reese! I said sit down! You can also get one of these by making a double or a triple play whenever you're playing defense, or like I just said 20 seconds ago, if you hit a pitcher's power up, then you're gonna get one of the 4 legendary hot bats.
The aluminum power bat. The undergrounder. The crazy bunt.
Crazy butt.
The screaming line drive.
Plug your ears. It's a screaming line drive.
You'd scream too if you were hit that hard, let me tell you.
Things like this are why I love this game so freaking much. It adds a certain amount of spice and flair to a game that could otherwise fall to obscurity and blandness, kind of like all the other early 2000s sports games. This game did its job because it actually got kids into video games who don't usually play them, and then they could bond with those who actually do play video games. And isn't that what gaming is all about? Overcoming our differences through the power of friendship? Jesus, I've been playing too much Kingdom Hearts lately.
Backyard baseball was a great game. I played it a ton whenever I was a kid. I played it to death. Yeah, sure, it's aged a little bit, but kind of like that old guy out there. It's still a classic in my opinion. Now, if you'll excuse me real quick, I gotta take care of something. How many times do I have to tell you, old man? Quit staring at me with the wiener in your hand.